Here we go! I'm Laura Daniel and welcome to Laura Loves New York. Broadway has been closed for almost a year, but that hasn't stopped my two fabulous guests who've been making theater on Zoom for this past year. Please meet Lorelei McKenzie and Kristen Penner of 16th Note Productions. Woo!
Hi guys.
I'm so thrilled to have you guys on. I have been wanting to have you on my show forever. And we have a very special reason for it now. You have Starcrossed the musical coming up on March 29th. It's a special mini presentation. And I know you have a lot of musicals under your belt, having been in a few of them. I'm very thankful. But what is Starcrossed about?
Love is love. That's the main message of it. It is Wicked meets Romeo and Juliet, and it is about the relationship between Tybalt and Mercutio and how they meet and eventually fall in love, and then how that disintegrates because of the society that they're in.
It does make me think of Wicked a little bit because there's very sweeping contemporary music. You marry it with some of Shakespeare's sonnets and Romeo and Juliet. It's beautifully done, and I think Shakespeare aficionados are gonna go, oh, that's so cool that they did that.
She makes the torches burn bright, she hangs upon cheek of night.
By stuck in honor of kin, to strike him dead's not a sin.
Gentle cause, let him alone.
I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. To palm his holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints' lips and holy palmers too.
To use in
I saw him there
prayer.
for just a moment. Things made sense. I have no more defense, and I am gone. So gone.
I love that. I think audiences who know and love Romeo and Juliet are going to be just utterly delighted by this delicious takeoff from it. Wait, what inspired you to write it?
Well, what inspired the writing of it was Kristen was directing a production of Romeo and Juliet where I played her Tybalt.
And Kristen asked Lorelei, why are Tybalt and Mercutio enemies?
And I jokingly off the cuff said, I think we were lovers, and it went badly. And I was like, I'm gonna write this show. And then we decided to write the show.
Who writes the music and who writes the book? Who writes the lyrics? Or is this a true partnership?
It's really an amalgamation and a true partnership. In regards to the book, it is 100% we sit down together and we hash things out and we argue things out and we write these words, and it's 100% together all the time, which is convenient since, we live with one another and we're married.
Very easy.
Sometimes it's less convenient if we're arguing about something that doesn't go well, but and then in regards to the music, it's very half and half,
It's kind of an amalgamation of
yeah.
I might have an idea for a song and then I'll bring it to her, vice versa.
Yeah.
We edit each other's work and we collaborate on each other's work.
Yeah.
I don't write any arrangements. That's all her.
Yeah, I do the arrangements and orchestration and stuff and the harmonies and whatnot. But
Greatest gift I've never found is a place to land where someone will understand. I need sky.
yeah, as far as everything else, it's a complete combo. And even with that, I'll bring her an arrangement and she'll say, blowing your load a little too early, Kristen. Let's lead up to the massive amount of, strings and guitar and drums. It doesn't have to be right at bar 8. We can wait a little bit.
Where does it come from? Is it a lyric that sparks it first? Where do you get your melodies? And especially when you do some of those West Side Story-esque the counterpoints blow me away.
Yeah.
I write very pretty but simple melodies. And about 10 years ago when we were working on our first show, we were watching another show and they had some counterpoint happening. And I said, Kristen, I think that's what our show needs. We don't have any of that in our show. And so then she took it to me.
So all the actors can really just blame her because it was her idea.
She took it to me that all of the songs had to have that.
Just imagine it. Once they see us coming, listen, they'll retreat. You'll see to me, stay together with me here, and there's no stopping us. Just put your trust in me.
I was really blessed growing up with parents and grandparents who liked so many different styles of music. It is so wide-ranging and wide-reaching that these esoteric things will like pop into my head, and it's only after I've written the entire song where I'm like, oh, that one little line, this is where it's from. This is what started it all, you know? If I'm stuck on a song, something that I do is I go back, I'll be like, all right, I want this to sound like this particular song. Like, this is kind of what I'd like it to be. See Me from the show is a great example of it. It was one of those times where Laura was like,
I'm thinking Masquerade.
Okay. It's the Masquerade Ball of the Capulet, so that makes sense. And then for some reason, an Annie Lennox song kept running through my head. And that's kind of where I got myself started, and it went from there.
See me, come and join this little dance, my dear. It comes but once a year, so see
And something that we've talked about a few times here is that, as you said, Lorelai, love is love. And something you've done, yes, it happens in Shakespeare, there's the gender swap, but I love that you went even further, is that Mercutio and Tybalt are two women played by yourselves, and they fall in love. And it's really exciting because you are both married. Is it difficult playing these two characters who love/hate each other? I mean, how do you keep that from coming home with you?
I mean, really, we just go into the rehearsal room with us. If you want to be honest. No.
I love you. I know you don't actually want to kill me.
I don't want you to die.
Okay.
See you later.
It's play. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved playing pretend. And so that's what it is to me. I get to play pretend with my best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
When we do the full show, it's very difficult watching my best friend and wife, obviously, but I married my best friend. It's very cliche, but it's very hard watching her die and being the one to kill her off.
I luck out. I get to die before she gets it in the end.
It's very depressing. It's one of those shows where there's not a lot of them out there. There are some, obviously, but there's not a lot of shows that just end miserably, and there is no happiness in this. You're just like, okay, and whew.
And spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't know Romeo and Juliet.
We don't change the ending.
We did not change the
character. We are using contemporary language a lot of times, and it was very important for us to stay to the truth of Romeo and Juliet and of these characters because we love it so much. This is an homage to this show for us, as opposed to, oh, well, we're going to take it and change everything about it.
Yeah. But I think what's really cool, there were historical swordswomen, which is really fascinating to me in the 1600s. You guys are definitely situated. This world of Verona knows that you have a reputation of being dangerous. Even though these are unique women, they're almost they're almost stuck by the world's conventions of, oh, well, you still have to marry a man.
It's our nod to where women are now, honestly, in my opinion, because we're allowed so much and we are given so much leash and lead, but in society's eyes, we're still on that leash. We live in a patriarchal society, you know, and at the end of the day, patriarchal societies are always going to hate women more than and try to press down women more than anything, you know. So it's a nod to that, you know. We can have swords and we can fight and we can speak up and have a voice, but when the prince says you need to marry him, how are you going to break that?
Right.
You have to find a way to break that law. No matter how outspoken you are, there's still that line that you have to show.
And it's very Romeo and Juliet because they are forced by their parents to marry people they don't want to marry. I love how you still look at the confines of conventionality and how in this world there are still men and women trying to come out to their parents and say, this is who I am and this is who I love. And that's why I really love this show. I also love that you gave Lady Capulet such teeth, you know, and trying to fight the patriarchy, but she is also still stuck with how can she get what she wants.
Yeah. She's learned how to use it. Lady Capulet has learned how to use the patriarchy. And I mean, it's this wonderful thing of, you know, in Romeo and Juliet proper, you have Capulet and Lady Capulet. And it's like, all right, well, why don't we just make that role a woman and explore what that is? Because it's the old saying of, you know, the man may be the head of the household, but the woman's the neck. She turns that neck.
Love is a weakness, my child. Beauty is fading and poems exiled. Love is a weakness, I said. So banish those thoughts from your head.
Yeah.
Very fun to play Lady Capulet, Lady C, as I call her.
Yeah, you do. You do. You do her justice. Terrifying, guys. If you tune in to it to Starcrossed on the 29th of March for no other reason than to see Laura be absolutely terrifying and not this bubbly, magnificent, shining ray of light that you see before you. She transforms. It's worth it. It is horrifyingly scary.
I really want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to play her. Villains have more fun.
Yeah.
I love it. And to that point, Chris, I love that the women drive this show. They really do. There still is Romeo, and he's so sweet, and I mean, just everything you want Romeo to be. There's definitely Juliet. The cast is amazing. Truly, you've brought together such an amazing cast, such versatile theater performers who performed all over the country, and it's a really great show. So I'm excited for people to see this. What would you say is the message of Starcrossed?
Love is love. Yeah. And I know I said that earlier. But
No, but
That's not only trust it within your own life, but if you see love, don't suffocate it, don't hamper it, allow it to blossom, because learn from Romeo and Juliet, you don't know everything. In this world, more people, this is my belief, more people believe love is love than not. But there are those who are very vocal, who think they know everything, who say, no, you're wrong for this love. Stop and think and allow yourself breath, because when we do not allow ourselves breath to think about how we might be wrong in our core initial beliefs, then things go down the path of sorrow and sadness, tragedy.
Whew, wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I have a feeling people are going to want to know, how did you guys meet? How did you guys meet and fall in love?
We met at an audition for Hair, where we both misread the call somehow.
Because it was confusing.
The call was confusing, but we both misread the call somehow, and it was a dance call first. And I am a very well-trained mover.
I am not.
and they were looking for dancers.
Yes, they were.
And we both got cut.
Yes, we did.
But we were there. And so we got to talking, and we had a lot of fun. And after we both immediately got cut, I took her out for Jamba Juice.
Yes, which was my first time
It was her first time.
at Jamba Juice. It's delicious. Wonderful.
And then we had a long and sordid friendship where she pursued me forever.
Yes, it's true. I fell in love with her pretty
Right away.
quick. No, not right away. But it was
I'm
pretty
separating.
it was pretty quickly. We met in December. I had already formed a crush on her by February. By like mid to end of February.
It was quicker than that.
She likes to say that. And so then in August, I finally asked her out on our first date, and after a year around our 1 year anniversary,
3 days before.
3 days before,
She
because
said she was not going to propose before we were together for a year, but she
it's
lied.
true. I did, because I can't surprise her. It's very difficult to surprise her. And we got married. We got married on March 29th, actually. So it's going to be an anniversary that we have to show.
Yes.
So-
Wild. Wow. And how long have you been together?
Together as a couple, we got together in 2000. It'll be 10 years.
It's gonna, as a couple, it's gonna be 10 years together.
Oh, how momentous this date is going to be, the 29th. How magical. That's
Yeah.
so cool. That is so
Yeah.
cool. I've been so fortunate to work with these two talented women since 2016.
I know, it's been crazy.
But seeing you grow and develop your musicals, and Starcrossed has that. It has the sweeping melodies. It has these epic themes, and I think that's why audiences should see this mini presentation to get a taste of what is it like to see a Broadway musical being shaped and born. And I think the way you do it is beautiful. And I think, to Lorelai's point, again, love is love, and being part of this love story is truly wonderful. So we'll see you March 29th at 7 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time for our West Coasters.
Thank you for joining us on Laura Loves New York.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Bye,
Love
guys.
you guys.
Go to starcrossthmusicalnyc.com to register for the Zoom link.
Just imagine it once they see us coming